If you are the one holding all of the decisions, the care, the appointments, the family tension, and you're wondering if it's even okay to use your parents' money to get help, you're not the only one. Joseph was there too. His mom has recently passed away, and now he is caring for his 91-year-old dad, doing everything himself, quietly wondering if getting more help would be selfish or if it would be faithful. In this episode of Dementia Caregiver Support for Christians, you'll hear a real conversation, one that doesn't give easy answers, but helps you think biblically about stewardship, family, and what it means to care well during this caregiving season. Because sometimes the faithful thing isn't doing more, it is using what the Lord has already provided. Hey, Christian Care Companion. Welcome to Dementia Caregiver Support for Christians, the podcast where I help Bible-believing spouses, adult children, and long-distance family caregivers walk through their dementia caregiving with clarity, peace, and practical help. You do not need to feel like you're losing your mind or your soul while caregiving. And if you feel like you need a little bit more help to map this out practically, not just theologically, I would invite you to join me for a brand new free workshop on August the 9th at 12 p.m. Eastern. It is called The 3 Unusual Mistakes That Keep Christian Dementia Caregivers Overwhelmed. And in this workshop, we look at 3 mistakes that we might be making that can keep you stuck and how to make a decision to move forward that will bring you peace and clarity. You can register today at thinkdifferentdementia.com/WSL. And now let's hop into a coaching style episode that comes from our monthly Ask the Dementia Coach question and answer session, where we speak with Joseph, who has recently lost his mom and is still caregiving with his dad. So let's hop right into today's episode. Mr. Joseph, I'm very, very glad that you're here. So you've been hanging out on this call for a little bit today. I'm going to take you through the same process I've just taken all these beautiful ladies through.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start with the question. Let's say it's 6 months from today and things are easier in your caregiving journey. What does that look like for you?
Okay, I don't have an answer to that because it's not that simple. I will
Well,
tell you that.
Before we get complicated,
Mm-hmm.
there's a very important reason I ask the question the way I'm asking it. And the reason for that is when it is so complicated, we have to distill it down to something tangible that we can actually take action on. So
Yes,
what would make it easier?
having all the answers at the right time
Okay, that's a good,
and
actually,
having it
that's
done.
actually a really good answer.
That's why I
When
say
you
it's
say
complicated.
when you say having all the right answers at the right time, what does that mean?
Well, as we all know, dementia is a slow process, and we know death is quick. Nobody has a clock. Nobody knows
No,
when it's going to happen.
we're not
So,
guaranteed to.
so when I say death is quick, I've been through the home care, the hospice. Everybody's monitoring, the blood pressure, the pulse, the oxygen. Everything is fine until it's not fine. So, um,
Before you continue, I'm going to ask a quick clarification question. So it sounds like your mom has passed away?
she passed in December.
Okay.
It
So
almost killed me. It almost killed me. And there's a lot of mental
I get
and physical. And
Mhm.
what I like about your approach, which was something that was missing, is the spiritual aspect. because, once death comes, all of a sudden the spiritualness just takes over.
Correct.
And
Mhm,
I think there's the purpose. And I think I love, I've looked at some of your videos, not everyone, but, selectively, and just the ones that talk about the purpose, because I think one of the things that happened to me is you're going, you're going, you're going, you're going, and of course, you think you're doing the right thing, and of course, you are doing the right thing, but I like the way you have this, we're in the image of God. We're doing this because it's the right thing to do on many levels. But on the spiritual journey, I
mhm.
think it's something that gets kind of, because there's so much medical and so much, coordinating and all this, but the spiritual part, I think, helps, like, sort of like, at least after the journey of my mom, thinking it helps going through.
Okay. So may I ask a quick question? Are you caregiving somebody else as well now?
Father.
Your father. Okay.
Father's 91.
Okay. So before you continue, I'm going to ask you a couple of clarification questions.
So I'm experienced, I'm trying to tell you. I'm experienced in
You're
in
you're
the in the jour
experienced in the N of 1.
in the that's correct.
Okay. I'm experienced in the N of thousands. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference, and I'm not meaning that to sound terrible. That's not the spirit that it comes from. But what I'm trying to show you is that caregiving is like raising a kid, right? Raising a human, any human. There are commonalities with all humans. We've got, for the most part, if we're if we come out the way we're supposed to be designed, we have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nose, 2 hands, and when we're born, we tend to follow a certain path, right? None of us would argue that humans are the same but different, right?
Right.
Dementia is the same but different. So now you've had one experience with your mom, which has left certain battle scars, for lack of a better word. And now you are, my words, not yours, perhaps a little apprehensive, knowing what's coming with your father. Is that an
That
accurate summary?
It's a different animal, right?
It
Male,
is.
female.
Sure.
There's obviously personality differences,
Always.
and then, so it kind of, I feel less courageous
Okay.
because you kinda like, I've already been there, and of course, mom is mom, right? Mom gets a certain level of attention and care. Father is obviously more difficult, and, we have good communication, but the dynamics around it are
Sure.
di are the same. The sisters, the families, the
Ah,
home, there's a
now
lot
you're
of s
getting to the crux of it. Okay. Thank you, young man. Thank you. Alrighty. So having all the right answers at the right time, and now what has come out is a little more detail. And the detail is from the outside looking in, yes, I recognize that there are some challenges. Dad is different than mom, all of that. But that's not really from where I'm looking, listening to you, where the rub is.
Right.
The rub is that there seems to be potentially a whole bunch of family drama in the background that you're navigating through this process. So just for just a couple minutes, I have a few questions for you. Does your dad live with you?
Yes.
Are you the eldest?
Yes.
Are you the decision maker?
In every aspect,
Okay,
yes.
so you have the DPOA, the healthcare power of attorney, all that
Everything.
stuff.
And it
Good.
and it and the advice you gave to, what is it, was it Margie?
Margie.
That
Mhm.
that's just helped. Without it, it would have just been one roadblock after another.
Okay. So we have all of that lined up. Based on my conversation with you, I can tell that you're coming from a Christian worldview. Is your father a believer?
He used to be a choir boy when he lived in New York, but, you gotta really dig in deep to find that guy.
Okay. Are your siblings believers?
My sister has turned into one.
Okay. How many siblings are there?
One.
Okay. So your sister is a believer. We potentially have a question mark on dad. You're a believer. Are you married?
No.
No.
Divorce. Divorce.
Divorced. Okay. But the reason I'm asking that question, it's not that you have a spouse in the house with you that we need to consider in this equation.
No, I'm heavily dependent on caregiver, CNAs,
Okay.
and, like I said, I've been through the normal home care experience and then the hospice care, and it
Sure.
was tremendous, but there are gaps, obviously.
Sure. For
There's a
sure.
lot, and you gotta fill
Now
the gaps.
now what level is your father at? Is your father still walking? Does he still take care of himself? There are 3 little buckets that people tend to fall in. Entirely independent, just starting to have some changes, needing a lot more help, and if you didn't help, his quality would be bad, but he's physically still mostly able to do things, or he's total hands-on care and total thinking care.
He's like an in-betweener.
Okay,
So
so
he's
he's kind
fallen
of
he's fallen 55 times.
okay.
Where 'cause I'm around and he falls and there's no one else to pick him up. So every
Well,
time he falls, I
the
pick him up.
the f so the fall is an outlier. Well, 55 falls is not at all normal, and I'm not discounting it, but
He's very lucky.
picking him up off of the floor after he falls is not what I mean by physical assistance. I mean physical assistance to get bathed and dressed and showered and fed and all of that. Is he
Yeah,
still
the
doing that for himself?
no. I mean, he can swallow food and drink drinks
Are
and
you feeding him?
no.
Okay. So he takes a spoon and fork or something and feeds himself.
Right, but he's constantly choking because if the food is not I have to be careful what I prepare and how well
Okay.
it's, how well the food is, cut
That's a
and
that's a separate issue. I'm trying to find kind of where he's functioning. Will he go to the bathroom by himself?
yes, and on himself all the
Okay,
time.
the on himself is a separate issue, but in your home, can he find the bathroom
Yes.
without you taking him?
Yes.
If you give him a shirt, will he put it on?
Yes.
If you give him a shirt inside out, would he know to turn it right side out and put it on?
Yes.
Okay, so your dad's in the middle bucket.
The in-betweener, yes.
Yeah, yeah, 1, 2, 3, the middle bucket.
Yep.
Okay. So, would you like my best recommendation for you in your particular situation?
Sure.
Okay. I love that you said about having the right answers at the right time. And I'm very encouraged that you're either watching some of the videos or listening to some of the podcasts. It seems to me that where you are right now is that you're able to manage, but things are starting to get hard. And a lot of it is all on you.
Right.
You particularly because right now, even though your mom had been on hospice, it doesn't sound like you have that level of assistance currently in the house with your father. Am am I correct?
Right, right. He receives physical therapy once a week,
Okay,
and then I have to private pay for the
okay,
CNAs to give him a bath
okay.
and
Does your father have financial resources?
yes.
Are you utilizing your father's financial resources to pay for additional care in the home so that you can get a break?
Not to the level that Anne has with the VA, like the
Okay,
4 hour, because I know that's available, but, we all hear stories, right, about
okay.
the systems out there
I
and there's nothing we can do about that.
I
Because
understand.
that's outside our control, it's just a matter of it's actually kind of experimentation. You gotta try something, if you don't like it, then,
Right.
fire them and go to the next one, that sort
That
of thing.
all of that is true, 100%, and what I'd love to propose to you, you mentioned your dad is 91.
Correct,
Okay. You mentioned it's just you and a sibling.
correct.
Okay. We know that you are the decision maker and the person who can direct your dad's care. We recognize in our conversation that you need additional help.
Yeah, because we know it's gonna grow.
Well, correct.
I'm kinda like, what do you call it? Being proactive in the way because
Yes.
I
But what
saw
I'm
what yes, go ahead.
But what I want to suggest to you in a very gentle and kind way is use your father's resources to provide for additional in-home care. Find 2 agencies locally, one to be the primary agency, a non-medical home health company, and one to be a secondary non-medical home health company and use his resources to pay for additional care in the home so that you can take breaks.
Yeah, non-medical meaning, it's not authorized by a doctor. It
Non-medical meaning private pay,
private
insurance
pay.
is not gonna pay for it.
Right, yeah, just go ahead and yeah, that's I think
The
yeah.
reason I'm recommending this, Joseph, is because
Mhm.
I've met so many sons and daughters just like you who, for whatever reason, and I'm not saying this is you in particular, but that they may feel guilty in using their parents' resources to take care of them
That's true.
because they feel that the reason that they should be able to do it. They should be able to do it, and the reason I'm getting this help in the house is because I need a break. So what I'm proposing is you need to use your dad's resources to pay for care so that you can get a break, and that is absolutely 100% appropriate to do.
Thank you for that.
Because the reality of the matter, and I'm just gonna unpack it because 'cause
Yeah.
I'm a straight shooter.
Yes.
Your dad's 91. He's going to pass away at some point or another. Your sister and you are the only 2 children. You are going to inherit whatever is left.
That's correct.
Use part of your dad's resources to pay for his care, knowing that you will receive less of an inheritance and you will not have killed your health and own well-being in the process, so that you, when your dad passes away, still have a future for yourself. Because at 91, I don't need to know your age. I'm just going to throw basic numbers. You're somewhere between late 60s to early 70s yourself. And if you have kids, then you want to be a part of your grandchildren's life. You want to be a part of your kids' life. And if you put everything into this bucket of taking care of your dad, which is good and right and needed, then you inadvertently put your own children in the same position later on if you have destroyed your own health and well-being through this process.
No, you're absolutely right. I think about that all the time.
So, what I'm asking you to consider is if your father has the financial resources to pay for additional care in the home, to not feel guilty that it's not wise stewardship because it actually is. It is wise stewardship of his resources, your limited resources by time and effort and physical being. You don't have unlimited energy. You don't have unlimited time. Money can buy you some of that. Money can buy you a little bit of relief so that you can have it for a longer period of time.
I have a question. So the question I have is when assessing these private
Mhm,
agencies, I would imagine that most of them will send someone to the home to do an assessment. I haven't done one of these yet,
mhm,
but I would imagine.
mhm.
So what I'm trying to do is, having the right answer at the right time is I'm having some expectations. In order for that outside agency to actually help, they have to diagnose the patient, the environment, all that stuff.
They will send somebody out to do an assessment, yes. And the particular reason I want you to have 2 is so that you build in a system, a structure. Just like I gave somebody else the suggestion of the schedule, it was Helen with her brother, right? If you always know you have Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 1 until 6 covered, that
Right.
gives you the ability to go do things, to get out of the house, to visit with friends, to maintain your own leisure activities. That is one of the biggest reasons people burn out related to caregiving is because they've actually or the difference between a person who feels burned out by the time they're done with this and somebody who is not, even though they went through the same stuff, was the ability to maintain their leisure life, their leisure activities. So we need to
Yes.
create time for you to feel like you still have good quality of life for yourself and you haven't put everything on hold for your dad. Will you
Right.
do
No.
will
Yeah,
you
thank
do
you.
that for me? So,
Yes, I will.
what's
Yes.
one thing that you're gonna take from today and implement?
Oh, I'm gonna go and I mean, I think, well, create a database of people that could help age and then just do, basically interview them to see
There
what
you go.
and I think that's gonna be, risky in the sense that I'm sure you're gonna get a front person that's going to blah, 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 this is what we do good. And then the next firm is gonna come and say blah, 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 this is what we do good. And then just based on that feedback back and forth, just select one and then select the second one.
Yep,
And
and
then
just
just do
another
it.
good
Mhm.
another good thing that you can do is speak to your friends at church, people you know. Say, "Hey, I need a local non-medical home health company. Do you know anybody who's used a company like that? Do you know anybody who has had in-home care? Who did you use?"
That's a good one.
So try to get
Right,
some suggestions from people you know in church,
right.
okay?
Thank you, thank you,
You are
appreciate that.
welcome. Joseph,
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you are our token male.
Hey, there was a lot of emails peppering me to come here.
I
Come
want
here,
you to
come
come.
Okay.
I'm very glad that you're here. I'm very, very glad that you're here.
And I'm glad you're here too doing this. I didn't know what to expect, so it was a
Well,
great
I hope it was enjoyable.
yes, it was, and keep up that I like that spiritual connection there where
I will
you
never stop with that. That
you
is
sprinkle
exactly
those little, what do you call it, biblical verses, and it's like, "Wow, I didn't know that was there."
well,
Okay.
I will tell you that the Lord has been very good and kind to me, and I've shared this with Yolanda because we're in a different community together. But the
Uh-huh.
Lord has taken me from the medical model
Yes.
and allowed me to be a caregiver. So I have the academic. I know what I'm doing from a caregiving dementia perspective,
Right.
but I've been a family caregiver myself. And my husband is a pastor, and I'm a pastor's wife. And as I have been journeying through this, I'm like, the medical model is not working. The caregiver centric model, caregiver burnout, my stress, etc., my overwhelm plays a role for sure because I'm living it and it doesn't work. Neither of these two are working well. So, what works? And then God really put it on my heart to stop and say, what does the Bible say about dementia, not the word dementia, caregiving, etc.? And
Right.
how do we put this whole thing together?
Right.
And the reality is, we serve a God of order. There is order in dementia. We serve a God of truth. There is truth that we can share consistently throughout this journey. And we do not need to lie because that is what the medical model teaches you. It's called therapeutic lying. They teach you to lie to the person because it's what's easier and faster than telling the truth or having truth in the situation. So everything I do is based on those two pieces of information. How is there truth in this? Where is the order in this? And it is relationship centered. It starts with your relationship with God and then your relationship with the people around you. And if you recall, right at the start of our conversation, I was asking about your father's spiritual aspect.
Yeah.
There are four different combinations of in this journey as a believer. You have two believers, caregiver, care receiver.
Oh, okay.
That journey looks different. You have a believing caregiver and an unbelieving care receiver. That is my situation with my dad. I'm a believer. My dad is a self professed atheist. And then you have a believing care receiver with an unbelieving caregiver. And potentially, unless my daughter repents and turns from this foolishness, she grew up in the church and she came to us and said she has deconstructed from the faith. If something happened to me, if as a believer, have my daughter, who is now an unbeliever, provide care, that journey is going to look different. And what
Wow.
we see in the world are what you see if you go into these huge Facebook groups are frequently two unbelievers navigating this journey.
Wow.
And all that they have to say is how terrible it is, how awful it is, how stressful it is, how this, how that, etc. So, what I'm developing, Joseph,
Yes.
is an entire model of caregiving from a biblical perspective.
You stunned me. Okay.
But thank you for letting me share that. I'm gonna I'm
That's
gonna
your
get
little that's your secret that you let out of the box.
I know. I always I love doing this. The Lord has been so kind to me, and it's taken me a long time to get here. Like, this
Yeah,
did
that's
not
an
happen
inter
overnight.
it's a very, thoughtful model, if that's the term you're using, model. It's just, so I guess we'll have to just stay tuned.
You will have to stay tuned and come back next month when I do this again. People who are really benefiting from the community are the people who joined earlier on, before they need it, and that have been active and are participating in the community, because then they already know what questions to ask, and they have a place to come, and they're not constantly wondering, what do I need to do? How do I need to do it? So people listening are interested in tapping into or learning about the community. I'd invite you to just go to the website, thinkdifferentdementia.com. There's a link for you to schedule a 20-minute call. There's no pressure. I'll serve you regardless of whether you join the community or not. But it is a way for you to take this relationship a little deeper, a little bit more hands-on support, because really the research also shows it's longitudinal support over time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. I would highly recommend Lizette. She's awesome.
Tracy, I appreciate that endorsement.